Imagine, if you will, a single iron line stretching over 1,900 miles, promising to bind a nation from sea to shining sea. In the mid-19th century, such a venture seemed almost the stuff of fantasy. Yet the drive to manifest destiny spurred a project of colossal proportions, the creation of the Transcontinental Railroad. Did you know that before this engineering marvel, a journey across the American continent was a perilous 6-month trek? By 1869, that same voyage could be made in mere days. This was a transformative time, where speed reshaped the landscape of progress and opportunity. It wasn't just a railway, it was the artery of the nation, pumping life into new towns and industries, forever altering the rhythm of American life. The enormity of this task can scarcely be comprehended today, but through sheer will, ingenuity, and the labor of thousands, the once distant dream of uniting the country through rails became a monumental reality that continues to shape our nation. The vision for a railroad stretching across the United States emerged from a potent combination of pragmatism and prophecy. The dream of the Transcontinental Railroad was born from the spirit of manifest destiny, a widely held belief in the mid-19th century that American settlers were destined to expand across North America. This ambitious idea gained traction in the 1840s, driven by the desire to facilitate travel, to bind the nation together from east to west, and to solidify economic growth and territorial unification. As the California Gold Rush of 1849 beckoned thousands to journey westward, the need for a more efficient and reliable means of transportation became evident. The exodus underscored the limitations of existing travel options. Wagon trains were slow, and sea routes were long and perilous. These factors converged to prompt innovative thinking and political action, resulting in legislative efforts such as the Pacific Railway Acts, which provided federal support for railroad construction. The railroad would not only bridge vast distances, but also accelerate the movement of goods and people, ushering in a new era of commerce and industry. The motivations were as much strategic as they were economic. The looming threat of Southern secession and the need to secure California, teeming with wealth and potential to the Union, played no small part in the urgency to build the railroad. The advent of the Civil War accelerated the process, as the absence of Southern opposition in Congress enabled the passage of necessary legislation. This era was characterized by a potent blend of ambition and innovation, laying the groundwork for what would be one of the greatest engineering feats of the time. Venturing into the heart of the construction challenges, the Transcontinental Railroad was not only an embodiment of human determination, but also a testament to tenacity in the face of nature's formidable barriers. The Sierra Nevada mountain range presented a colossal hurdle, its granite peaks towering as silent giants guarding the way west. Intensive labor involving explosives and treacherous work on sheer cliff faces was necessary to carve a path through this natural fortress, an endeavor punctuated by the perils of avalanches and rock slides. The winter of 1866, particularly harsh, brought progress to a near standstill, as crews battled through snowdrifts that could bury entire trains. In tandem with geographical adversities, the construction of the railroad drew together a mosaic of labor, emphasized starkly by the influx of Chinese and Irish immigrants. The Chinese laborers, escaping famine and civil unrest back home, brought a unique diligence and expertise, especially in handling explosives for tunneling through rock. However, their resilience was tested both by the backbreaking work and by the discrimination they weathered from fellow workers and employers. Meanwhile, Irish workers, often fleeing famine and seeking new beginnings, were no strangers to hardship and threw themselves into the monumental task, forming the backbone of the workforce in harsh and unwelcoming conditions. The meeting of these diverse cultures on the frontier did not come without social friction, yet they found common ground through shared struggles and the universal desire to forge a better future. Their legacy is etched into the very tracks they laid. Each rail bolted down a blending of stories and a merging of destinies, underpinned by personal sacrifices, too numerous to count. Along the plains, torrential rain and scorching sun bore down upon teams constructing bridges and laying tracks, racing against the seasonal clock. The push towards Promontory Summit was a relentless charge against time, resources, and the unpredictable wrath of nature. Yet, despite all obstacles, the willpower of a nation, embodied by its diverse craftsmen, prevailed, setting the stage for the railroad to unite a continent and propel America into a new era of connectivity and prosperity. The journey to complete the Transcontinental Railroad was marked not just by sheer human determination, but also by significant technological innovations and engineering breakthroughs. It was an era where the spirit of invention was as wild and unrestrained as the frontier lands the railroad would soon traverse. One could hardly speak of this period's engineering marvels without mentioning the use of nitroglycerin for the first time in history on such a grand scale. This explosive leap forward allowed workers to blast through mountainous terrain, like the Sierra Nevada, significantly faster than ever before, although with great risk and the tragic loss of many lives. Then there was the development of the Iron Trestle Bridge, a marvel in its own right, which afforded the builders the ability to span vast chasms and previously insurmountable river gorges. The Dale Creek Bridge in Wyoming, standing at 650 feet long and towering 125 feet above the creek bed, was one of the most remarkable examples. The railroad also became a catalyst for the advancement of standardized time and time zones. With the need for precise train schedules, timekeeping was revolutionized, and 4 standard time zones across the continental U.S. were proposed by railroad companies and instituted on November 18, 1883, a move that would forever change how the nation told time. Beneath the backdrop of these sweeping technical advancements was the development of the sleeping car by George Pullman, which went hand in hand with the comfort and luxury of passenger service. It was yet another innovation that would set the stage for modern railway travel, transforming the passenger experience across the vast distances of America. The rail laying process itself saw tremendous efficiencies, streamlining the back-breaking work into a more systematic operation. The Union Pacific used a car that could lay rails twice as fast as before, enabling the workers to lay up to 10 miles of track in a single day. All these technological triumphs, the dynamite, the bridges, the luxurious sleeping cars, the standardized time, and the efficiency in laying tracks, each played an integral role in pushing the railroad to completion. The advancements accelerated the pace of construction and changed transportation and industry in America forever, propelling it onto the global stage of industrial leaders. As this railroad stitched the vast American landscape together, the echoes of hammers and the whistle of steam locomotives heralded a new age. It was one where technological wonders not only conquered the natural barriers, but also redefined the future of an entire nation. May 10, 1869, marked a momentous day in American history. The country was about to be linked from coast to coast as the last spike, famously known as the Golden Spike, was poised to be driven into the final tie at Promontory Summit, Utah. This was not just a mere joining of 2 railroads. It signaled the closing chapter of a Herculean effort that spanned continents and challenged the limits of human endurance and ingenuity. The atmosphere at Promontory Summit was electric, with anticipation hanging thick in the air as notable figures, workers, and onlookers gathered in what can only be described as a collective breath being held. Andrew J. Russell, a photographer, captured the image that would come to symbolize one of the greatest technological feats of the time. The completion of the railroad was not only a powerful symbol of unity and connection, but also of America's relentless pursuit of progress. Officials from the Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railroads were present alongside politicians, laborers, and dignitaries, awaiting the ceremonial driving of the final spike. Leland Stanford and Thomas Durant, representing their respective railroads, each took turns to hammer the golden spike. Legend has it, due to overwhelming excitement, the initial attempts to drive in the spike failed. However, eventually, a telegrapher's message simply spelling "done" traversed the wires, setting off celebrations across the nation. The golden spike was more than just a symbolic ornament. It signified the nation's engineering prowess and its unstoppable march forward. In an era when progress was measured by leaps and bounds, the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad was a triumph, espousing the romantic ideal of manifest destiny and the practical reality of the Industrial Revolution shaping the world. Indeed, that ceremonial spike linked far more than mere miles of iron rail. It connected people, economies, and a continent. As the sun sets on our journey through history, we find ourselves reflecting on the remarkable legacy of the Transcontinental Railroad. Over 150 years have passed since the last spike was driven into the ground at Promontory Summit, yet the echoes of that hammer continue to resound throughout America. The completion of the railroad in 1869 was not merely an engineering marvel, it was a catalyst for change, knitting together a nation once fragmented by distance and disparate ambitions. The iron rails that snaked from Omaha to Sacramento symbolized a new era of connectivity, accelerating the migration of populations and the transfer of goods across the continent. Yet the tracks laid across the heartland and over mountain passes tell only a fraction of the epic tale. The Transcontinental Railroad's legacy is multifaceted, reflecting tales of tenacity, cruelty, ambition, and innovation. The workforce, a mosaic of immigrants and veterans, civilians and adventurers, all shared the relentless pursuit of completing what many deemed impossible. The economic impact was immediate and profound. Towns sprouted up along the route, trade flourished, and the United States found itself hurtling towards the status of an economic powerhouse. But this progress had its price. An often overlooked aspect is the cost shouldered by Native American communities, whose lands and way of life were irrevocably altered by the relentless westward expansion. Today, as we traverse the country by modern means of transportation, it is easy to overlook the pioneering spirit of those who laid the tracks. Yet, every bridge we cross and tunnel we pass through is a testament to the foresight and fortitude that define the era of the Transcontinental Railroad. This monumental undertaking reshaped the geographical and cultural landscape of an entire nation. Might we pause and consider the parallels in our current world, the modern-day challenges that call for unity, innovation, and perseverance? What is our generation's Transcontinental Railroad, and how will we rise to meet the trials that stand before us? As we reflect on the achievements of our forebears, let us carry forward the lessons learned and the spirit of determination that remains as relevant now as it was over a century ago. The history of the Transcontinental Railroad is not simply a tale confined to the pages of a dusty book. It is a narrative that continues to unfold, influencing the way we think about connectivity, collaboration, and the unyielding quest for progress. Its legacy is not just in the steel tracks that remain, but in the ambitious spirit that they continue to inspire. And with that final, powerful reflection on the enduring significance of the Transcontinental Railroad, we draw our journey to a close. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to you, our valued listeners, for spending this time with us on the Daily History Podcast. Your curiosity and passion for history are what make this show possible. Before we part ways, I encourage you to keep the conversation going. Whether you have insights, questions, or personal reflections, please share them in the comments section below. This historical feat, a testament to human perseverance and ingenuity, has left us with an invaluable legacy, and I'm eager to hear your thoughts on its multifaceted impact. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes, where we'll continue to explore the riveting tales and transformative events that have shaped our world. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and invite fellow history enthusiasts to join our community. Once again, thank you for listening, and until next time, keep pondering the pages of the past and their reverberations in our present. This has been the Daily History Podcast, wishing you a day as inspiring as the stories we share.